So, hello and welcome to my guest today, Claire, who is my first guest on Pathways to Abundance. So we're going to be looking in this interview series at amazing people who are or have been my clients and who have come for astrology readings. And I get the privilege all the time of seeing people on a soul level and being able to read clearly for them from the stars and look at their chart and how that is lived out in the wonderful human being in front of me. Yeah. And I really wanted to demonstrate that by inviting Claire here today to have a bit of a chat. And you know what? I tried planning this. And of course, it's like, you're not going to be able to plan this, Rachel. This is just intuitive. So, thank you, Claire, for coming and having a chat with me today, and thank you for agreeing to share for me to share your charts on screen. So, what we will do is I will just ask you a few questions, and we will just go back and forth, and we'll have a look at your chart, and this discussion will unfold in the way that it's meant to.
Of course. And thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy I'm the first, by the way.
Yay! Yeah.
That feels extra special. Thank you.
You're just like so good at that response, aren't you? You're like, yes, I'm there, book it now.
Oh, body, yes. Oh, yes. And I can do that in 2 days. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. So, first of all, I would like to just ask you some. Okay, first of all, I'm going to ask you, what was it? Can you remember when you first approached me and asked me for a chart reading, and why was that? So, just go for it intuitively.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I shared this story about having this reading with you literally 2 days ago with my sister, because she shared something with me and I was like, that is what came through on my reading. And she's having a similar experience right now, 2 years on. Because actually, Rachel, it is nearly 2 years ago that we had that reading.
Yeah.
So interestingly, I was on holiday. It was July 21. I was on holiday in Mallorca with my husband and 3 children. And I remember lying on the sunbed. I was on Facebook, and one of your posts came up, which was about readings. You were offering readings. I went, yeah, yeah, full body, yes. I need to have a reading as soon as I get home. And I remember, I don't know if you might remember this, but that we were delayed on our flight. No, not delayed. We actually missed our flight. That's what happened. And they refused us coming on. So I think, I don't know if I had to move it back slightly timing wise or the next day or something like that. I remember the day we spoke, it was the 29th of July. Now I remember all these dates because this was a really huge moment in my life, massive. So I booked that reading with you in the time, well, before we actually spoke. I woke up on the 26th of July and told my now ex-husband, I'm leaving you. And then 3 days later, we jump into this reading. I don't tell you anything. I'm just like, okay, give me my birth chart. And I remember this real intuitive feeling, like, I really hope he's going to tell me a little bit about what's here, because this was like such a huge step into the unknown.
Yeah.
Once those words had fallen out of my mouth, like I couldn't put them back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I didn't know what was next. I remember my ex-husband saying, like, well, how am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Fuck, thank God for that. Um,
You
I
have to
normally ask
do
that before.
truthful expression.
Yeah,
The only rule. Go for it.
ask that before ever I'm interviewed on a podcast or interview. I'm like, can I swear? And sometimes it's a no. So I'm like, okay, I need to think of another word now. But anyway, I don't even remember what I was going to say now.
You said the words came out of your mouth and you couldn't put them back, and it was
That's it.
fuck.
Yeah. And I remember my ex-husband saying to me, so, well, how are we going to work that out? You know, we're building 2 houses. Like, what, what the fuck? Like, kind of thing. And I was like, I don't know the next step. I don't know that one yet. I just know this one, which is I have to go. Like, I have to go. And so I stepped into that reading with you with this, knowing I was stepping right into a new chapter, and I did not know what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
And all I felt was, I really hope she gives me some kind of reflection of what's going to be happening, like, now, really. And I remember you said to me, you gave me like a bit of a summary of my birth chart, which was incredible. And then you said, I don't normally do this, but my intuition is telling me to tell you a little bit about what's present right now. And you just like dived into that. And there was one thing that you told me, and I was like, well, there were lots of things, but one thing that was really stuck in my mind was you said to me, right now you're stepping into a decision or you're making some change. I can't remember the exact wording, but it was like it's based on a decision you made 20 years ago based on stability. And I was like, fuck. That's when I got married. I married him because, yeah, right then in my life, I needed that stability. It was absolutely right. I have no regrets. I was meant to marry him. But then, like, there was this dramatic, now it's time to move.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And it was very intense and powerful. People often arrive in my life like this, one-to-one, and they were a huge, huge transition and turning point in their life. And it's massive to be able to kind of hold that and provide the holding space and support and advice and clarity, because that is such a massive thing. And I am very lucky in that I do tend to work with spiritually awakened people who totally get that all of this is their choice. It's their life, it's their choice. Not tell me what to do. Astrology is not a fortune telling at all. It's like real deep clarity on this soul level. And yeah, I mean, more and more information comes through to me. And very recently, in almost every reading, I get visionary material come through. So I get like wording and visions that people can work with, either in a powerful, deep, self-reflective way, or in a, actually, this is for your marketing. I'm just channeling it. And then later they're like typing it up and going, oh my God, that's my sales page. And it's just like literally that information that comes. So yeah, I mean, astrology is amazing in that it can provide that detail. This is something based on something that happened 20 years ago, because astrology is literally clockwork. It's the timing, is the timing of this universe. And with your permission, I would love to share your birth chart on screen, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yours is obviously on the left. That's a pretty picture on the right. So yeah, when I look at your chart, one thing that really hits me, one thing that I always look for is a pattern. And I'm looking for shapes, and there are various shapes that come through to me. All of those lines in the middle of your chart, that's how, and this is totally your unique arrangement, but these lines, those are the aspects, and that's how each of the planets that's arranged within you, each of those different energies that it brings through, is arranged and combines with each other. Now, one thing that really sticks out is that you've got this beautiful equilateral triangle that is a grand trine. Now, I do see quite a few clients with grand trines, and yours, same as mine, is a grand fire trine. Now,
Fire, yes.
yay! Now, this is quite interesting because, like, your sun sign is Cancer. Yeah. So people normally declare and know what their sun sign is, and that's like how I see the solar plexus energy and the essential core radiance light of a person. And yet there's so much else influencing a chart, such as what's the position of your moon, or your moon is in Virgo and your rising sign is Virgo, and then you've got all this fire energy going on. So actually, yours is what I would call a spade chart, as in all the planets go into a variety of different signs, different zodiac signs, each of those signs giving a flavor to who you are, and then the position within each of these little portions of pie, each of those 12 portions is the 12 houses, and that shows different areas of life. The next thing that I would be really, really looking at is, oh, look at this over here in Leo, because when I perceive your energy, and obviously since you first encountered me for that reading 2 years ago, I've watched you transform online. You live a public life on the stage of the world that is social media, right? It's like you living your life on Facebook, and bloody hell, that is a courageous place to be.
Thank you.
It is. It really is. And whenever I see Leo, I always think of the stage. It's like, yes, it's the lion. It's the queen who has straightened her own crown, chosen to step onto that stage, which, let's face it, it's like we're all starring in our own TV show. It's called YouTube and Facebook, it really is. And it's like you have agreed to take up that space. You're not waiting for somebody to give you the microphone. You're like, I claim the fucking microphone, right? That's you.
That's mine. Let me have it.
The thing that really stands out to me, and knowing your energy, knowing how you are, is this Venus and Mercury here in Leo. Now, Venus is something that I work with my clients with very much, because Venus is our female attraction magnet. So by working with Venus and understanding how we draw other people to us, other energies to us, other money to us, other words to us, everything, literally everything. So it's what we love, it's what we value, and it's how we show up. Now, your Venus is part of this grand fire trine. So it's got all the energy of Mars, action going straight into Venus. Wow, you are Mrs. Action Taker, right?
Yes.
And then you've got your Neptune. Neptune to me, I could talk about Neptune for about 5 hours straight. I won't. But Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, which is our higher energy of universal love, where we connect with the field and with others, and we genuinely have love for others who we don't know. And by others, I mean literally also animal kingdom, plant kingdom, literally all of life on planet Earth. We're like, I love it. I love being here. I love being a spirit and a human body. Oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. So that energy is also infusing who you are on this deep soul level and what you're attracting to yourself. And then Mercury, of course, Mercury, throat chakra, is the speaking part. Yeah. With that in mind, I would really like, I'll just stop that now so people can see you. I would like to ask you, what makes you feel abundant? What is the thing that you are like, yeah, this is my value, my worth, my abundance? Just talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I've been on a journey of really learning this about myself, actually. And just what you are sharing there, like, makes so much sense. So something I really recognize about myself is I am this like huge fucking magnet when I am out having fun. So right now I'm staying in London. I'm here this week. I've manifested a 5-bedroom house to myself. It's fucking gorgeous. I mean, you can see like the whole setup behind me. And I am just like in this, I don't know, London is really like vibing with me right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm divorced, I'm single, the energy is right. And whenever I get on the streets of London, but to be honest, it's not just London, it's wherever I go, I need to be out and about. Like that's how I have fun. I run with my intuition. I end up in, you know, places where I'm like, I don't even know why I'm fucking here.
Yeah.
So for an example, the other night I went on a date. It lasted 1 hour and 15 minutes. Boom. And this guy walked me back to the tube and he went, I'll drop you at the tube then. And I thought, yeah, okay, drop me at the tube. Bye. I was like, I'm not getting on the fucking tube. I'm going on a solo date with myself.
Great.
I'm going to see where I need to be.
Yeah.
Went down to the river. So I was like, river, go and sit by the river. And I wanted to do some writing, doing some writing. And then I was like, I'm going to capture a selfie by the river. No. I attract a photographer who does a mini shoot by the river for me.
Whoa. Yay.
Yeah.
Where did the photographer
come
from? Did the photographer just come out of magnetic ether? Yeah.
He was just like with his mate having a drink, right? And then suddenly I heard this voice and I thought, you know, I was just right in my own little world. And I said, ask me something. And he said, yeah, I'd happily take your photo with you. He, thinking one photo, like, you know, he filled my freaking camera up, my phone. Like,
wow.
What happened? And then I was like, okay, I want to go for a drink to celebrate myself because I just attracted in 5 clients that day.
Amazing. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
I chose to drive to London. I don't always get the train, but I was like, you know what? It feels more fun to drive. I've got a really sexy car. I love playing my music loud. So I was like, car disco, all the vibes. I did 2 sales in the car.
Yeah.
I also attracted someone who wants to talk to me about my highly bespoke retreat program where they choose where they would like to have a retreat.
Yeah.
And that all happened on my car journey whilst I was singing my head off to Diana Ross, I'm coming out, and all of that. And then that night after the shoot, you know, I then was like, which bar should I go to? No, not that, not that, not that. And I was like, Wright Brothers. For some reason, Wright Brothers is pinging me. I've got to go there. Please can I sit, you know, have a table? I'd love a drink. One stall left outside where they put the drinkers. Of course, just one.
Waiting for you.
Yeah.
The stool angels are like, Claire's coming. Save the stool.
Here she comes. Save the stool. So there's a lady who's sort of leaning on the stool from the bar next door. So I just sort of like just gently tapped her on the shoulder. I was like, oh, would you mind if I just sat down? Like, you know, this is where I'm gonna sit. Anyway, literally she started talking to me. And this is how, like, you know, there's no coincidences, right? You know, and suddenly through this whole conversation that we have, which is about 20 minutes, we discover we have been to exactly the same silent retreat in Bali. This is in the middle of nowhere. It's not very well known. She's been there. I've been there.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow.
I share one of my desires with her. Don't know how this came up, about modeling for Honey Birdette, which is a really beautiful lingerie brand. Okay. She went, my friend designs for them. I'm going to connect you.
No,
that's what I'm talking about.
Right. I mean, that literally is abundance masterclass at its finest, right?
Yeah, I
And
thought it's a good example. There's the story.
it's an amazing example, and human story is the way that we, give the best examples. But to me, as you're saying that, I'm going, right, Claire is completely at one and connected with the unified field, and that is your Neptune here is completely and totally on this intuitive attraction magnet constantly. So it's like yourself as this tuning fork who goes, I am magnetic as fuck. I am abundant as fuck. I am just going to go out and see what lands in my field. And because you're so trusting, because you're so connected, it does. Yeah. But also, I would say that there is this Mars effect going on here. So your Mars is in Aries. That is somebody who goes, I am utterly unafraid to go solo. I put energy and action into me. Thank you. Yeah. And here
Where that
it is.
comes from.
Yeah. And here it is in the 8th house. Now, the 8th house is shared stuff. So I feel that you're sharing these experiences with others and trusting that that divine magnetism happens wherever you walk. Yeah. Wherever you go. It's like you're on. So that Mars there in the shared stuff, you had that shared experience with that lady, and you're like, hey, I went to Bali on this silent retreat. And she's like, me too. What?
Yeah.
And then you've attracted in this, this fire that has already landed for you. It's there again. There it is. Amazing. So one thing that I wanted to mention here is you enjoying yourself and being super, super abundant. Now, the planet Jupiter is another one that I always, always look at, because Jupiter is all about literal expansion and enjoyment, and really when we go out and enjoy and go large. Yeah. And we all have it in a different house. Now, like, it's not like I made this up. Your soul did actually choose this. It looks like I've made this up to fit, but no, this is actually your soul's choice. Your Jupiter is in the 5th house. 5th house is what we enjoy. So you are designed to just go out there and enjoy yourself. Things will get more abundant for you when you go and prioritize fun and enjoyment, which is literally what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Here was your chart that your soul chose earlier. Right?
Amazing. It's always when I attract leads is always when I'm out having fun. Not posting on Facebook, not doing marketing, not in my business.
Yeah.
That is my business. Go and have fun.
Yes. And what I always say is oppositions can be a little bit tricky to balance in the charts, except where Jupiter is concerned, and you have an opposition between Jupiter and this magnetic attraction point, which is your Venus and Mercury. So you are designed to bring people into your world when you speak. So by having conversations, by writing, I mean, you are an excellent writer, speaker, but when you show up and you just speak in that very feminine way as well, it's like a powerful but leaning back. I'm just really totally embodying my divine feminine here. Thanks. Is that,
yeah.
Energetic. And then what's happening is there's like this other side of it, which is the Jupiter feeding that. So it's like your Jupiter in the 5th house of enjoyment is feeding your magnetic attraction. And what I really want to bring out here, because I see it in quite a lot of charts, is that you've got your key internal planets in the 11th house. Now, the 11th house is a design where it's almost like a celebrity or author. Now, I mean, you are writing a book, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, 11th house is where we are designed to communicate with people who will see us, but we might not see them. We might not have a relationship with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so writing a book is a really perfect example of that, because everybody who reads your book and who that book impacts will actually have like a personal relationship with you. And you might not know them, but you could be transforming lives left, right, and center based on that. Yeah, and that's your design. So you've got your sun, which is your inner personality, your ego, your radiance, the solar plexus light of your life. Your Mercury, again, totally personal to you, because Mercury moves so quickly, and that's how you're designed to speak. And then your Venus, everything about your divine feminine attraction. And all of that is in the 11th house. So it's like the person who gets up on a stage and speaks to an audience, and you can see that the sea of faces out there, and they are being impacted by you, and you have that design to impact the many. Now, in this online world, I suppose that there are a lot of courses and business models and coaching designed to help people get to that place. And yet, when I see somebody's chart, I can quickly and easily say to them, actually, the focus of your work is like one-to-one. Please don't be trying and plugging away at this one-to-many model, because it's not for you. Whereas for Claire, oh my God, this is you. You have the design that impacts many people, and to get up on that stage and roar from, that lioness that you are.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
That feels so true. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Your design here is so perfectly embodied. And so tell me, what are your plans for getting on the stage and speaking? Because I can like literally see you on the stage. So when does that happen?
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've had this vision of being on a big fuck off stage for forever. And it's it's no coincidence what you've just reflected in my chart, because I feel I feel like a performer, and I think I've only really fully embodied that in the last couple of years since I left my ex. It was like, like that is definitely, I started singing. I love dancing, not that it's necessarily any of those, but I think it's all of it. It's all of it. I love to speak. And as you know, I'm very expressive online. I'm willing to share all the things. There's no topic that I don't talk about. And it's like what you said at the start, like my life is very public. I talk in, very in detail about my dating experiences and what that teaches me. And someone voice noted me this morning going, oh my God, your Empowering Men series on Facebook, like it has huge effect on me. And I share that with so many people. And I'm like, that is just fun. I just love writing about it. It's effortless, But in answer to your question, I feel that it's really close to me that I'm going to be on TV really soon. Like really feels close. I've taken a very big, scary as fuck, courageous action towards that recently, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
No, actually, it's probably about a month ago now. And I'm just I'm trusting if that's meant to be. If not, there'll be something else. So I am writing my book. I have the most phenomenal publishing agent who intuitively showed up, synchronicity, like it was like these little threads. Oh, okay. And then when I had my first call with her, it was like, oh yes, we were so supposed to work together. Perfect. And she has never read anything like what she's read. She's like, you are a writer. And the thing is, I think when you write, I know you're writing a book, right, too, aren't you?
Yeah.
We are our harshest critic, aren't we?
Oh, so big time. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm am writing my story essentially from when I left my ex-husband. And like it's very explicit, it's edgy, it's really deconstructing generational bullshit of how a woman should behave when she's single, when she's dating, or even in a relationship, to be fair. Because actually you can have whatever you want, provided that is something that has been communicated and agreed, right? And so I am modeling a completely different way. And what happens is when I write, I'll get an intuitive hit about, okay, you need to write about this now. And I'm like, oh, really? And then I'm like, remind myself, you are dismantling generational shit. You have to write about it. So anyway, so she reflected that back. She was like, you are a writer. This is incredible. And she said, how big do you want to go with this? And I was like, fucking huge. I see this as the next 50 Shades, but it's a very different story, obviously. It's kind of 50 Shades meets Sex in the City. So I feel
but the awakened version, right?
Exactly, in a conscious, awakened, absolutely. So yeah, because it's all about, you know, like my spiritual awakening, how that felt, and you know, how I lead my life in a very intuitive way, but everything that happens is like a total gift. You know, I see it all as like you know, some juicy learning for myself. Every single guy I've met has just like gifted me something. So
and in return, I sense that in return, because you're, as you say, getting rid of this generational bullshit, the transmission and the teaching comes through the vibration of your voice and your lived experience. So other people who read that, other women who read it, will be like, now I understand the reframe. Because we work through human story, we work through role models, and you know, people who will be reading will be like, they'll be assimilating your story and energy, what that means for them, and it's like your entire coaching transmission is coming in book format, but it will still be so powerful. You know, somebody could coach with you one-to-one and they would have a very different, much more direct experience. But again, you're doing that super direct experience. And I really feel that huge amount of energy coming from you, the level of what you've embodied and chosen to really take on as your enjoyment, but also it's your legacy, isn't it? You are going out and creating and building and living and sharing your entire legacy.
Yeah, it really is. I got really clear on my legacy recently, and it's like it's actually to show people how to be happy, because I had compromised my happiness for years. And never again do I ever compromise my happiness. And so that's really the essence of it. And so I'd say, you know, the book is the step to the stage. But what I'm seeing now is this vision of me on a red carpet. I see it's going to be a movie. I mean, like,
wow.
Yeah, I feel it's a movie, or I'm getting an award. I don't know, but there's red carpet. I'm seeing myself, you know, dressed, like feeling that.
Oh, I love that.
There's a very hot guy on my arm. Obviously.
Oh, that is so amazing. Oh my God, thank you so much for joining me today. I know we could talk for like hours and hours, but you know, we both have things to do, right? You've got London to go and, you know, hit and see what happens today. Go playing, exactly, and be abundant. So if people who are watching this would like to contact you, what's the best method to be in touch or follow you? Is it Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook. So Claire Dore. It's got an accent on the E. Or Instagram is the Wild Woman CEO.
Cool. Wild Woman CEO. Lovely. And just to say to the people watching as well, if you are a spiritually abundant, amazing person, or you would like to be cosmic as fuck, abundant as fuck, basically at the moment, I have a deep dive one-to-one program that I am absolutely loving called Cosmic Abundance Codes. And it's my joy and privilege and pleasure to read in your charts what brings you abundance, and to really, really deep dive on every planet, every aspect that it shows up in your life, so that you can go out, own that energy, know it, bring clarity. Oh, it's just so amazing. So if you're interested in that, please let me know and I will send the details, and everything will be in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching that video, please like, subscribe, feel free to share it around with people. And thank you, Claire, for joining me today. Thank you for being so honest and for sharing truthfully how your abundance and energy and intuition works in your life. Go have an amazing day. Thank you for being
Thank
here. Thank
you.
you for being in my life.
Thank you.